This is such a good deal, Canadiens fans, that if this were $8.5 million times 6, we'd be having like the same reaction. We got some big news this morning, and it stunned us, and we both had the same reaction. There's a new Connor McDavid in Canada, and his name is Lane Hutson, because Lane Hutson took a sweetheart of a deal with the Montreal Canadiens. He extended for 8 times $8.5 million per. And our reaction right off the rip was he wanted to stay. He loves it. And not only did he want to stay, he's been poking around, seeing the news, seeing what people have said about other guys who have dragged out, and seeing what people are starting to say about his situation, which, I mean, we're part of it because we were like, Lane Hutson, fuck the Canadiens. Bet, drag this out. They have lowballed you. You have won this negotiation. Now win as much as you possibly can. And instead, he takes a discount. Like, simple as that. $8.5 million times 8 is a discount. So, Canadiens fans, you are
8.85.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Canadiens fans, you love that guy forever.
I mean, we talked about this last week, but like, wasn't the report that he turned down he was willing to accept like Noah Dobson, like a little bit under Noah Dobson in the offseason, and the Canadiens said no?
I think so, yeah.
And now, like, this is even lower than what we assumed that to be. So, yeah, it seems very clear he wanted to stay in Montreal. Like, unbelievable job by the Canadiens to get this done. I hate that he did them a favor, but, like, we've done a lot of comparing deals to deals and being like, Connor McDavid and makes everybody else's deal look like they took a huge bargain. Well, Lane Hutson just took less than Luke Hughes.
Crazy.
Which is fucking wild to me.
But on the Dobson thing, this is still like a really good contract in that he gets a ton of money, and he gets a ton of money soon. $55 million in signing bonuses. I want to say it pays $23 million in the first 366 days of the contract. So in some ways, like he has way more signing bonus.
It's his money, and he wants it now.
Yeah, more signing bonus than Dobson, who had $38 million, Suzuki, $10 million, Caulfield, $10 million, Slavkovsky, $10 million. So the Canadiens, at least to their credit, like, made up for it a little in that he took such a lower AAV than he had to. But look, like, this is a guy who, what were we saying last week? We were like, the second Bouchard signs that contract, you're like, all right, if you're signing me for 8 years, you're giving me that number, $10.5 million. And to do it for 8.5, again, I keep repeating myself, but Canadiens fans, be happy that you've got a player who loves and believes in that team. Like Lane Hutson, humanitarian of the year.
Well, behind Connor McDavid. He's runner-up.
Yes. We'll also note richest 10-2C contract in NHL history, which means that I don't think he was able to be offer sheeted anyway. So, Sean, the dream.
Yeah.
The dream is now officially dead. But damn, like, this is what a get. Canadiens get Lane Hutson, as you said, for less than Luke Hughes is going to be making.
Yeah. I mean, if you had to pick Lane Hutson, Luke Hughes, Jackson Lacombe.
I'm taking the Calder winner.
I'm being newfangled in taking Lane Hutson.
Yeah.
But I bet some people are taking Jackson Lacombe.
I bet a lot of people love Jackson Lacombe and enough to put him above Lane Hutson, but just based off of what we saw last year and even before that at BC, like, Lane Hutson takes over games like very few defensemen are able to do at the NHL level. $8.85 million for 8 years is bananas. He's that's 8 years starting next year.
Yeah.
So they've got this guy for almost a decade at very, very cheap money.
Sean, Sam in the chat says that it's because they have palm trees and no income tax in Montreal. Famously, very, very good financial situation to sign contracts in Canada versus the United States.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Yep. Dollar's real strong up there.
I'll tell you what, though, I love it. Like, I don't want there to be messiness with the Canadiens. And I definitely didn't want there, and clearly he didn't either. I definitely don't want there to be, like, contract drama with Lane Hutson, who just seems like the sweetest boy in the world.
I was gonna say, like,
You're
how
not beating those allegations now.
Yeah.
He's
It
like,
seemed-
I just get this done. I don't want it to be on like a distraction at all for this team this season.
it
Crazy.
seems like there was a little bit of like a reaction to the Kirill Kaprizov contract where people are like, I don't want to be the asshole that's getting paid too much. How little do you think Kirill Kaprizov would have had to make or taken for that not to be the reaction? Because like if he had taken 14 mil, do you think people would be like, this guy's an asshole?
No.
And thus, do you think
definitely not.
other players would be taking more because they're not like they don't have it in their mind being the asshole that Kirill Kaprizov, quote unquote, is?
I think
I
16
don't mind.
million 16 million if we first found out that he turned down 15 million, because like it's the was offered the huge deal, said no, and then went up $1 million.
Yeah. I just feel like with each passing day, Kirill Kaprizov looks more and more like an asshole. And that's not me saying that Kirill Kaprizov is an asshole, but it's just like the structure of salaries in the NHL now making Kirill Kaprizov look like an asshole. I never blame a guy for getting his bag and leveraging his situation as best he can. But boy,
if Kirill Kaprizov was taking $14 million, do you think Jack Eichel's making 12 and a half, whatever he took? Like, do you think? Do you not? Do you
no,
think,
I think that Jack
I
Eichel
saw
would
this
like.
basketball book, and Jack Eichel's got to be like, "Yo, man, like you got to know who I am."
yeah,
I'm getting,
but like,
I still kind of can't believe that Jack Eichel.
I guess ultimately my point is that Kirill Kaprizov's contract was so high that it just becomes irrelevant to every other contract negotiation. Whereas, like, if it had been 14, if you're Jack Eichel, you're like, you can throw me another $1.5 million.
Trebs in the chat says, so why aren't we bitching about that like when Panthers take discounts? I am politely going to say that conversation, at least as it relates to this show, is a figment of your imagination. We have never complained about Panthers players taking discounts. I have been annoyed with the technicality of Gary Bettman saying that the no stake income tax thing doesn't affect contracts when everybody, agents, Panthers players say, of course it does. But like, that's fine. That's the rule. They're allowed to do it.
Right.
That's fine. We've never, I mean, Pete, you wouldn't give a fuck about that. Like, we're never like, oh no, like the Gadjevich contract, he should have been making like $250,000. What the fuck do we care? We don't complain about that. I don't think anyone complains about that.
No, and when you play for a good team, like there's a lot of precedent of guys taking less money to stay on a good team. What are you laughing at?
A comment that we're not going to publish.
No, my computer just crashed, so that's great. Somebody
I don't know if
had
it's that
said,
inappropriate.
Bill Guerin's just looking for a way out of this Kirill Kaprizov contract.
That's the way to
Methinks.
paraphrase. Yeah.
I just feel like, I don't know. It's somebody, Ambassador Grease asked, like, why are all these young players taking such long deals? Hudson, Hughes, Vlasic, Nazar. I mean, like, part of it might be the fact that you can get 8 years now.
They grew up in the Dennis Schroeder
Hughes took
era.
7.
They grew up in the Dennis Schroeder era.
Yeah, but I also just think that, like, if you can secure a bag right now and get that extra year, why not?